I think there are some companies that are great proponents of this idea of magic as a metaphor for innovation. I think that Pitney Bowes, Merrill Lynch, HSBC, for instance, are great believers in this. Who are some of the other companies that you've worked with or not that really embrace this idea and have seen some measurable success as a result of it?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of companies. I know, like, obviously, the obvious companies like Apple. You know, I'm a big fan of Apple's because they have been able to innovate in a very consistent, sustainable way. And I think that you know, any in a sense, technology is magic with drama. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So when Procter & Gamble and MIT joined together to create the Auto ID Lab, which was the first concept of pursuing the radio frequency identification device, how to make one the size of a fingernail at a cost of 1/10 of a cent. The experts in the arena, Texas Instrument, IBM was involved, I think, at the time. They basically said it's impossible. You can't do that. Well, they challenged that assumption. They were able to create that. And they very much a believer in the concept that technology is magic with drama. A company I worked with years ago in South America, in Brazil, Amil, which is an insurance company, and they were true. It's a truly innovative company. And what they did is they challenged the assumption of the way healthcare has to be. I think it's called Golden Cross was the leader in the health field in Brazil. And it was a fairly modeled after many healthcare companies in the United States, like Blue Cross, which were big companies and a little bit impersonal and many forms and a lot of waiting to get things processed and through. And they challenged the assumption and said healthcare doesn't have to be that way. Now, part of their success would allow them to do that is they were also made up of many doctors. That it was an idea coming out of a lot of people who were physicians and that knew the area. And so what they did is they said, well, wait a minute, we could change the model. Why does it have to be around the company? Why can't it be around the consumer? And they developed a direct-to-consumer business, healthcare business. It was the first of its kind, and it was phenomenally successful. And everything they did, the services about it. So, for example, if you were caught somewhere in the hills in Brazil, they actually had helicopters that would fly you out, their own helicopters that would fly you out. If you had a problem at home, you could actually call a physician or a nurse direct and talk to them. And if they felt that you really needed to come to the hospital, they would give you some advice. But if you needed, they would actually set up your appointment to come into the hospital. A revolutionary concept, totally innovative. And they moved from an unknown to probably one of the largest healthcare providers in Brazil.
Right. Name some companies that you would just love to work with because you know that if they embraced magic as a metaphor for innovation, that they would do infinitely better. Who are you just dying to work with?
Well, there's so many companies. Pitney Bowes is a great company because they really are in a very they're very aggressive towards innovation, and they're always thinking about new ways of innovating. I mean, I do a lot of work in the financial companies. And they
do a lot of magic.
They do a lot of magic. They need a lot of magic right now. A lot of right help now. But what's interesting is that you know, magic has been considered a little bit of a esoteric, but really major corporations are embracing it because of its thinking process. Because really what I focus on is the behavioral aspect of the behavioral theories as how we think as individuals that magic is used. I don't know if I have one set company. I mean, I love Bose. To me is a great company, but Dr. Bose is to me a magician in his own right. They're constantly creating and innovating fantastic new products. And he is also a challenger of assumptions. So if you go up to Dr. Bose and say, it can't be done, he's the kind of individual that would say, wait a minute, let's challenge that assumption. John Osher, that created the Crest toothbrush, he's the same thing. If you go to him and say, and he says, let's try this, and an engineer who we really value says it can't be done, that's when he gets most excited. He says, let's challenge those assumptions behind it. So those are I mean, those are great companies, but there are so many companies today that need magic only because we are moving so quickly. I mean, there are more products and services than there are people right now. anyone at any time, anywhere in this world, could be doing what any of us are doing, and they could do it faster, cheaper, or better. So this is forcing people to really have to figure out new solutions every day because the playing field changes. And that's where the magic comes in. You know, magic is really about thinking differently to find new solutions. Great.
Do you have a few more tricks up your sleeve?
Well, here's one actually. It's really actually quite interesting. And this time we'll invoke everybody here to help with the trick. I will ask you, Susan, to hold this deck of cards. Now, what I'm going to ask, we'll ask the cameraman over here. We'll start with you to name a color, either red or black.
Red.
Red. Okay, you remember red. Now, over here, Mr. Cameraman behind camera 3, would you please name a, say, odd or even?
Even.
Even. So we have an even red card. And you name a any number between 1 and 13.
5.
5. So we have, well, 5 is an odd card, so we have a 5, odd card. Oh, I'm sorry, you said even? So could you name an even card?
6.
6. So we have 6, a red 6. So cameraman behind number 2, we have, now we have a red 6. Tell me, is it a diamond or spade, whatever you prefer?
Diamond.
Diamond. So what do we have now? We have a...
We have the 6 of diamonds.
We have the 6 of diamonds. Okay. 6 of diamonds. So I want you to know all the cards are face up here. Now, what do we say, 6 of diamonds?
Correct.
All the cards are face up, except there is one card that is face down in the deck. There's one card face down in the deck. You want to take that card?
May I look at it?
Yes, please.
I bet it's the 6 of diamonds.
There it is.
Well, all of my assumptions have been challenged today. Andy, thank you very much. This has been great.
Okay.